Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. Rest in peace. Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list and welcome to my top 10 personal favorite Heath Ledger movies. Yes, as you saw in my last video, I did a review of the new documentary, I Am Heath Ledger, which talks about the life and career and the passing of Heath Ledger. And I thought, you know what, to celebrate that documentary and celebrate the life and career of Heath Ledger, I do my top 10 personal favorite Heath Ledger movies. Yes, I have no idea why I haven't done this top 10 list already because I'm a huge fan of Heath Ledger. Yes, I'm going to say this right now, and this is the God honest truth. I was a fan of Heath Ledger before he passed away. Yes, I know a lot of people were as well. Like, I know a lot of people have always loved Heath Ledger, but I'm just saying I've always been a fan of Heath Ledger. If you have always been a fan, good for you, because you all realize that he has always been a talented actor, and he's always made great movies. He's made a few stinkers, but he's made a lot of great ones, and I'm here to celebrate those great ones by giving my top 10 personal favorite Heath Ledger movies. Alright, let's get to it. Here's my top 10 personal favorite Heath Ledger movies, and for a top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are, there's only 3 of them, and those 3 are Lords of Dogtown, Two Hands, and Candy. Decent films, just couldn't make the top 10 list, but did make my top 10 was my number 10. My number 10 is the movie Casanova. Yes, Casanova is a very mixed reviewed movie. Some people really do not like it. Some people call it a chick flick. Some people call it mildly too long and stuff. Some people call it very dull and stuff. Some people just call it just a really stupid movie. I don't consider it a stupid movie. I think Heath Ledger is really great in this movie. I love the very small performance of Charlie Cox. He's really good. I love the production, costume design, the cinematography. I like some of its comedic and romantic aspects. I actually find this a very delightful, very happy, very whimsical, very enjoyable film. Some people may not like it, but I'm a big fan of it. Coming number 9 is A Knight's Tale. A Knight's Tale was actually a pretty big box office hit movie. This movie made a killing in the box office, but in the reviews, it is pretty meh. It's a 58% as of now on Rotten Tomatoes. Some people still don't like it because some people find it too sentimental. Some people find it very cheesy. Some people just don't like it. They just can't get into this movie. I personally really enjoy A Knight's Tale. I actually saw A Knight's Tale in 2001 when it came out. That is actually when I became a fan of Heath Ledger, because I never saw 10 Things I Hate About You when it first came out. I saw it years later. But the first Heath Ledger movie I actually watched in the big screen, I watched it on the big screen, and that was A Knight's Tale. And when I saw A Knight's Tale, I really loved it when I was younger. I was a kid watching this movie, and I instantly became a fan of Heath Ledger after I saw this movie, because I really loved him in this movie. I loved Paul Bettany, Alan Tudyk, Mark Addy, everyone. I thought everyone was fantastic in this movie. Even Rufus Sewell, who plays a villain in almost every goddamn movie he's in. He's like fucking Kevin Durand. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. As I got older, I do know there is a lot of flaws with this movie. There is a lot of modern music used in this film, even though it's a film that takes place in the 18th century, but they have We Will Rock You playing, but the movie is not literally in the movie. It's just symbolizing what's happening in the film and stuff. So yeah, it's not literally put in the film and stuff. Anyways, I digress, but there's other issues I have with this film, but I still find it a very enjoyable, very fun, very kind of heartwarming film, and I think Heath Ledger and the entire cast is all give great performances and stuff. And yeah, I love his team. I love Mark Addy, Paul Bettany, and Alan Tudyk. They're all really funny characters, and yeah, I find this a very enjoyable film. It's got good jousting scenes, good comedic scenes, and it even has a pretty decent romance, and yeah, I'm a big fan of it. Coming number 8 is The Patriot. Yes, The Patriot, the only Roland Emmerich movie I like. Yes, I am not an Independence Day fan, but I am a Patriots fan. That sounded weird. Sounded like I was a New England Patriots fan. I don't watch sports, but yeah, The Patriot. I'm a Patriot fan. Yeah, anyways, this is a very good movie. This has Mel Gibson and Heath Ledger and stuff. This movie is very historically inaccurate, but it's still a very good movie with solid performances, a great production design, great action scenes, and a very intense and very gripping story. And I really loved it. I really enjoyed this movie. I used to watch this movie all the time with my dad. My dad loved it. I loved watching it when I was younger, and still to this day, I love watching it. Coming number 7 is the movie Ned Kelly. Yes, Ned Kelly is a movie I actually just watched pretty recently. I actually never saw this movie. I actually barely even heard of this movie, but yeah, I finally got to watch it actually a few weeks ago, and I really, really enjoyed this film. This has Heath Ledger, has Orlando Bloom, a very small performance of Joel Edgerton, Naomi Watts, Jeffrey Rush. This is a really great movie. It's based on a true story about Ned Kelly, basically, who rebelled against, the English. He was an Irishman who rebelled against the English and stuff and became his own lawman and stuff, and basically he wanted equality for all the people and stuff. And this is a very good Western action dramatic film and stuff, and I think it's a very well done movie, mostly because of the performances. There is some story issues I have here and there and stuff. There's some stuff that I heard were very inaccurate, and there's a few scenes that come off a bit clunky, but the performances in this movie is what makes it really good and very watchable. Heath Ledger's great, Orlando Bloom, Joel Edgerton, Naomi Watts, Jeffrey Rush, they're all solid in this movie. In the action, there's not a lot of action, but the action that is in this movie is very realistic and very brutal. It has this sheer brutality about it that comes off almost unpleasant, but also intriguing to watch. And yeah, I was surprised by this movie. I didn't think I'd like this movie, but I watched it and I quite enjoyed it, and I'd probably give this movie a second, even a third viewing. Ned Kelly, very underrated Heath Ledger movie. If you have not seen it yet, check it out. It's a good one. Coming number 6 is the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Yes, Dr. Parnassus. Yes, this is directed by the one and only Terry Gilliam, one of my favorite directors out there. This is no Brazil. This is no Monty Python movie. This is no 12 Monkeys, but it's still a very solid fantasy film. This is the very last movie by Heath Ledger and stuff, and when he passed, 3 actors volunteered to play the rest of his parts and stuff. And that was Jude Law, Johnny Depp, and Colin Farrell, and all 3 of them give great performances. They basically become Heath Ledger when Heath Ledger goes inside the Imaginarium and stuff. And the lead character, Christopher Plummer's great in this movie. Andrew Garfield's great in this movie. Everyone's fantastic. I love the sheer scope of this movie. I love the imagination in this movie. The visuals is all fantastic. The costumes, production. And of course, it's a really creative and just an original idea. It's such a fresh, very weird, bizarre movie. It's a Terry Gilliam movie. When you watch a Terry Gilliam movie, you know you're going to get something very weird and so unique. Exactly what this movie is. It's weird, it's fresh, and it's unique, and it's so friggin' enjoyable, and it's the last movie of Heath Ledger, and yeah, I friggin' love it. Coming number 5 is Monsters Ball. Monsters Ball, actually, I'd probably put this at the top 3, but Heath Ledger is a very minimal character in this movie. He's only, spoilers. Spoilers right ahead. If you don't want to know spoilers of this movie, then skip to my next movie that I'm about to mention, but yeah. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Heath Ledger dies in this movie. Yes, he is only literally in the first 25 minutes of this film. He plays the son of the lead character played by Billy Bob Thornton and stuff, and Billy Bob Thornton is a very racist character, and Heath Ledger is not racist at all and stuff, but he doesn't want to disappoint his father and stuff. Basically, he does something wrong when a guy's gonna die during the death penalty and stuff. Heath Ledger throws up and stuff and gets scared and stuff, and Billy Bob Thornton basically punches him out and stuff and calls him disgrace, and he's basically ashamed of Heath Ledger. He's ashamed that he's his son and stuff, and Heath Ledger gets really upset, and basically he shoots himself in his own living room, and it's pretty graphic and really tragic and very unpleasant to watch, but yeah, Heath Ledger's performance just sticks with you. He is absolutely solid in this movie. Billy Bob Thornton's amazing too. Also, Peter Boyle's really good. Even P. Diddy's good in this movie. Halle Berry is the show stealer. She won the Oscar. She's amazing. But Heath Ledger's presence always leaves a mark on me. Every time I watch this movie, I always remember Heath Ledger's haunting performance. He is fantastic in this movie. And of course, this movie had to make my top 5. He is so good. And the movie itself is also fantastic. Coming number 4 is 10 Things I Hate About You. 10 Things I Hate About You is, of course, a movie I've talked to death about. It's one of my favorite teen movies. It's one of my favorite romantic comedies. It's a great high school movie. I love Heath Ledger in this movie. I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt in this movie. Julia Stiles is even good, even though she's not an actress I'm always a big fan of, but she's really enjoyable. I love Heath Ledger as this bad boy, but a bad boy who has a lot of heart and who has a lot of personality. He's actually a very compelling, very three-dimensional character. I love his relationship with Julia Stiles, but I also love his friendship with Cameron, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. And yeah, I love this movie. It symbolizes the cheesiness of 90s high school movies, and it's done so well. It is so funny, so enjoyable, so likable. I have to watch this movie at least once every few months and just have a blast with it because it's just so much fun, this movie. It's a lot of fun. I love it. 10 Things I Hate About You, great film. Coming number 3 is I'm Not There. Yes, I'm Not There is directed by Todd Haynes. This is one of his best films. I think Carol actually might be his best, but this is a fantastic movie. This is basically about the story of Bob Dylan, told in a very obscure and different and non-linear way. This is basically a bunch of different stories of different characters, different personalities, different characters of different ages and races and stuff, and basically, they're all different time zones and stuff, but they're all representing of what Bob Dylan is and Bob Dylan's life and his personality and stuff. It's about Bob Dylan told in a very obscure and non-linear way, and it's done brilliantly. Heath Ledger is amazing in this movie. Christian Bale is amazing. Richard Gere is amazing. You got Cate Blanchett in this movie playing a male role, and she is phenomenal. I love how Todd Haynes directed this movie. This movie bleaks with atmosphere. The camera angles, the editing, the lighting in this movie is absolutely stunning. I love this movie. I'm Not There. It's just one of those Todd Haynes masterpieces. Anytime Todd Haynes makes a new movie, I'm always excited because he's this weird, obscure filmmaker that always makes something truly brilliant, and I'm Not There is one of his most brilliant films, and it's one of my favorite Heath Ledger movies. Coming number 2 is Brokeback Mountain. Yes, Brokeback Mountain. Another movie I have talked to death about. If you want to hear me just gush all about this movie, watch my ranking of Ang Lee movies, because I just talked to death about this movie. I love this movie. Heath Ledger is fantastic. It's about 2 cowboys that are homosexuals. And yes, a lot of people make fun of this movie, and people should not. This movie is brilliant. It is tragic. It is heartbreaking to watch. Ang Lee's direction is absolutely solid. Jake Gyllenhaal, Anne Hathaway, Michelle Williams, and especially Heath Ledger are all fantastic in this movie. If you want to watch just a tragic, romantic, dramatic film, watch Brokeback Mountain. This movie is freaking unbelievable, and I absolutely love it, and it's hands down the second best movie Heath Ledger has ever played in. He is amazing in this movie, so good. And my number 1 favorite Heath Ledger movie is, what do you guys think it is? It's freaking The Dark Knight. Yes, why so serious? Yes, it's freaking The Dark Knight. The Joker is portrayed by Heath Ledger in the most weirdest, strangest, unbelievable ways I've ever seen. This is the greatest Joker we've ever had. And Mark Hamill's amazing, Jack Nicholson is amazing, and Jared Leto. Jack Nicholson is amazing, and Heath Ledger just did an amazing job. He plays a true sociopath. This is not only the greatest performance by Heath Ledger, this is not only the greatest performance in a superhero film, this is one of the greatest performances of all time. Heath Ledger won his Academy Award, and unfortunately, he couldn't be there to accept it because he passed away, but it is just sad because he is just so good in this movie. You could tell if he was still alive right now, he'd be getting some of the best roles ever because of this role. He is just sheerly amazing in this film. The film itself is, of course, amazing. It's my favorite superhero movie of all time. It's an amazing Batman story. Christian Bale, Aaron Eckhart, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, all fantastic in this movie. It's got great action scenes, amazing set pieces. The way they filmed Chicago just looks freaking brilliant. I love the look of Gotham City. I love the villains, Two-Face, Scarecrow, Joker, of course. There's so many quotable lines in this movie. It's so well written, so well directed. What Christopher Nolan did with this movie was freaking masterful. I have no idea why he didn't get a Best Director nomination at the Oscars. That just still baffles me. I still don't know why this movie didn't get a Best Picture nomination. It is one of the great Batman movies. It is one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. And of course, it is my favorite Heath Ledger movie. Why so serious? And that was my top 10 personal favorite Heath Ledger movies. So in the comment section below, please tell me, what are your top 10 favorite Heath Ledger films in your opinion? What are your top 10 favorites? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to his channel, and join the doc.